Hello and welcome back. My name is Jerry, the coding musician, and in this video we will be installing our integrated development environment, which is IntelliJ in this case, and the version we'll be installing is IntelliJ IDE 2022.2.4, the community edition. Also, we'll be using the Java 17 JDK. Okay, I'll be explaining what that means shortly, but just follow me as we proceed. So, here we are in Google Chrome, and the next step is you need to type in IntelliJ in the search window, hit enter, and the very first option that comes out, you should see something like this. Since I'm here to download, I'm going to skip the option of going to the IntelliJetBrains.com website first of all. So I'll just hit the download. So this brings me to the download section of the IntelliJ IDE by JetBrains. Body of note is the fact that we have two different types, the ultimate version and the community edition. The ultimate version is a paid monthly subscription type of version that has some extended features, some additional features which you don't need at this time as a beginner. The community edition is a free built on open source version of IntelliJ, and it does exactly everything that you need to start coding in Java. So I strongly encourage you to click on the download button of the community edition. Now, while the download is going on, you can hit the arrow back button, and for those who are on Windows, click on the Windows section and hit the community edition. If you're on Linux, do the same thing. Remember, if you click on Ultimate, that means you're willing to subscribe for a monthly fee. I can't remember how much, but it's about $30 per month. So why pay for it if you can have access to the free one? That's the idea here. Now, if you need additional help beyond the instructions I gave in this video, feel free to go to jetbrains.com/help/idea/installation guide. All right. So over here, you can see in-depth instruction on how to install the IDE on your specific kind of PC. All right. So for those of us on Mac, at this point, the download has finished. What we need to do is double click on, if you're doing this for the very first time on a Mac, it might ask you to type in your password, to kind of give the administrative privilege for installation to take place. So all you need to do is to follow the on-screen instruction. In this case, it's to drag and drop in the application folder. But I already have it installed on this PC, so I'm not going to do that right now. But just follow through with that and you're ready to go. Earlier on, I promised to explain what I meant by JDK. I'm going to be doing that alongside two other very common acronyms that you will come across in the world of Java if you're just getting started out. So the first one is the JRE, which means Java Runtime Environment. This is a software layer that runs on top of a computer's operating system, and the primary function of the JRE, the Java Runtime Environment, is to enable the execution of Java code. In other words, this is what actually enables you to be able to run your Java code. So without the JRE, you will not be able to run your code. Secondly, the JDK, that stands for Java Development Kit. This provides various tools, compiler, and standard class libraries that are required to create your Java application. In this instance, we are using version 17 of the OpenJDK, as we saw earlier on in the video. Thirdly, we have the IDE. The IDE is the Integrated Development Environment. which enables users to write, edit, build, and run and debug Java programs easily. In this tutorial, moving forward, we will be using the IntelliJ IDE, which we just installed. Other examples of an IDE are Eclipse, NetBeans, Visual Studio Code, Microsoft Visual Studio. These are other ones that you can use for writing programs in different programming languages. So, but for Java, we have chosen to use the IntelliJ IDE. So, the next step is to go to your Launchpad and search for IntelliJ IDEA. This is it. You click on it to open it, and because we are opening it for the first time after installation, it's gonna take a while, go through some verification process, but that is pretty normal. It's quite a heavy application. While waiting for it to open, if you look over on the right hand side of my desktop, you see that I created an empty folder named repos. This is where I'm going to be storing every application that we'll be creating in this course. All right, so make sure you create one. You can put it either in your documents folder or directly on your desktop. Just remember where you created this particular folder, and so that you can access it. You'll see how we'll access it right from inside of IntelliJ shortly. Downloading plugin. Awesome. IntelliJ IDEA community. Okay, so this is the first screen that comes up. Let me expand it a little bit. So this is what it looks like when you launch it for the very first time. If you want to take a quick tour, you can use this and it will show you a few things. But for the purpose of this installation exercise, we'll be creating our very first app. So the first thing we'll do, now that we have the application fully opened and loaded, is to click on New Project. All right, click on New Project, and on this pop-up window that opens, there is a section for us to type in the name. So we're going to type in My First App as our app. Now the location, you're free to change it by clicking on the folder over here and select the particular location. But in this case, I'm going to be saving any project we'll be creating in this training into the repo folder on my desktop. All right, so that's already selected for me. And then because of my previous development exercises, I have this create git repository pre-selected, which is okay. If yours is not selected, you can select it. That will make it easier for you to push to GitHub repo when you're done. And then ensure that Java is highlighted. You see that it is more grayed out over here because you have multiple options. And then you also see other environments where you can that IntelliJ is useful for building Java FX, Maven, and so on. So we're trying to create a Java application, and then here the JDK has been selected as Oracle 7 JDK version 17. Now, so if you don't have version 17 on your system, click on the download button here, and you can select the Open JDK by Oracle. It's possible by now. It could have been updated to version 18 or 19. Okay, but for the sake of this exercise, I'm just showing us using version 17. Okay, now that's all we need to do, and then make sure that your add sample code is highlighted. That's very important since this is our very first application. All right, here we go. So here you see your code editor, public class main, and then on the left hand side you will see the project window. All right. There are 3 subsections. My first app, which is the folder that contains what we will be building, external libraries, scratches and console. So this has already been expanded automatically by IntelliJ, but if it's not, click on this arrow to expand it. Now, after clicking on this arrow to expand it, now take a look at how it shows us, it points to the location of where we are storing our application. Remember, we created the repos folder on the desktop, and then we created my first app inside of the repos folder. So that's why you see the naming outlined this way. So the next thing we need to do, click on this SRC folder, which stands for source folder. Okay, and then you will see a class. This is what we call a class called main. Now this main is a particular class that is needed by every application. All right, by every application that you will be building in Java, which is referred to as the entry point. This is always needed. The main class is needed for you to be able to run your application. So that's why we have main. You can always create other classes, which in some ways ties back to this main class in order to run your application. So you will always have a main class in every application you build. All right, so over here in line 2, you see public static void main string args, and then inside of this small bracket, so this is being updated to keep it all in one line. But if you want to have it expanded, you see this tiny grayed out arrow here, the plus sign, click on it, and then it expands the code to a more readable version instead of having everything in a straight line. So this is what it looks like. So it has hello world as the particular text that will be printed out, but we want to change that text so that we can have a feel. So you can leave the hello world if you like, but let's type in a few additional texts to print out. So we'll do the same thing as you see it above, system.out.println. Okay, you type that and then you do double brackets. You say this is JRE decoding musician. Feel free to type your name there. And then let's add a third line of text to it. System.out.println. Now, as I was typing, you see that the code editor itself, IntelliJ, was giving me suggestions on the likely thing I'm going to write next. So if it's what you want, feel free to click on enter instead of spending the whole time that you need to type out letter by letter. So this is just a way to help you develop your application faster. So this is JRE decoding musician. Welcome to my first app in Java. Awesome. So that's all we need right now. Now, for us to run our application, there are 2 ways that we can run this application. If you go up on the menu bar, you will see where it says run. If you click on that, and then you can do run main Java. Okay, the main here, main.java, that's the main class in our source folder inside of my first app. as seen in the project window. So this is the main Java. Now if you right click on this side, you can see it over here also, run main.java, run main. Okay, now that is one way, or a couple of ways through which we can run the application. A third way is to come over here. All right, on the menu bar over here, you can also see the green play button which says run main Java. So we're going to use this. Just click on it and it will bring up an output window after it is done running. Awesome. So here we are. We have created our very first simple application. Hello world, this is JRE the coding musician. Welcome to my first app in Java. Process finished with exit code 0. Now this is the computer's way of letting us know that it has finished running our application, everything we built to this point. All right, I'll see you in the next video.